Welcome to Crayon, guys.
Welcome.
Okay.
Welcome.
Welcome!
So, N64 is old.
Yeah, I had a birthday.
Well, it's not old.
How old, Nicholas?
It's
I'm
younger than
older
I am.
It's true.
Okay.
But in terms of like gaming systems that are still being played,
Yeah, that's true. It's old.
Is it still being played though?
I played.
we played
were
it today.
literally just playing it.
Yeah,
like a few
because
minutes ago.
You walked in and we were playing it.
Because of its birthday.
No, but I still
but-
play it.
When's the last time you played it other than this last week?
Like 2 years ago.
We played it at his birthday party thingy.
Oh yeah.
Kind of.
My
I mean,
birthday
it
bash.
wasn't actually the
No,
N64, but
but
it
like-
was.
But it was the
64 Melee.
Super Smash Bros. 64 version.
Yeah.
It was on the Wii.
That's
but,
different, though.
Wii, Shmee, Potato,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what
So-
are your guys' favorite memories of the Nintendo 64 in honor of its birthday?
Okay, well,
The
just
games!
Shut up, it's not your turn yet.
Shut up, Matt!
as an umbrella statement, I would say Super Smash Bros.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's kind of a unanimous
Everyone.
agreement.
Yeah.
you know, being in
I
like
didn't
first
really like
grade.
that game.
Screw you,
Well,
man.
I didn't even know that 64 had Smash Bros. Until my brother downloaded the emulator in like 2011.
Really?
Wow.
Wow. Beat Arena. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's amazing.
Yep.
Eject.
I just remember. I just remember being like in first grade, staying up till midnight, thinking I was like hardcore,
Yeah.
playing Super Smash Bros. And then like my friend's dad coming in like, go to bed, bro, like, but Super Smash Bros.
I also really enjoyed Mario Kart. That's one of my
Oh,
favorites.
yeah.
And Diddy Kong Racing.
Diddy Kong Racing! Yeah, Diddy Kong Racing! Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one. You know those stupid hovercrafts?
Oh, yeah.
Funny thing is, I started playing that game, like, okay, first started playing it when I was little, or whatever, and thought, this game is so hard. Just, you know, you have to
yeah.
race bosses and stuff, there's the whole story mode, whatever. And then I came back to it probably like 12 years later and beat it in my 20s. And thought it was equally as cool.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what the hardest part about that game was?
What?
The menu. Oh my goodness, that menu is confusing. Like the different picture frames.
Yeah.
Oh.
And you have to like pick a level, but you have like no idea where you're looking on the.
There's
in
just
reference to
hundreds
the-
of them
Yeah,
everywhere.
and you're
Or
just
hundreds,
scrolling
but-
back and forth and up
Yeah.
and down. You're like, I don't even know what game mode I'm in.
And you finally do
Yeah.
pick a level, and it's like, oh, what do you mean I can use
Oh.
a cart or a tube or a plane? Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
It's hard to choose.
Matt and I used to, because a race wouldn't end it until like all but one of the races had crossed the finish line. So what Matt and I would do was we would just not cross the finish line, and all the computers would just keep going around, and we just go around and pick up missiles and just fire them.
We used to go backwards and just
We,
try and
we
kill
would
them
go
all.
backwards and just try and like nuke all of them.
Wait on all the weapon
Nice.
points and then...
Yeah.
I probably,
A missile.
I probably didn't do your
Good
standings
game.
too good.
That was
No.
like the other version of Mario Kart that was equally as cool.
Yeah.
And since then, there's never been like all of the other consoles and games, generations and whatnot. There hasn't been an as cool racing game
Well, as
as
far
Mario
as
Kart.
cartoon racing, like you got like Forza and all that.
Right.
Right,
It's a
right, like,
different-
but like,
yeah.
but like, you know,
cartoon
the
racing.
party kind of
Yeah.
racing games.
And there
Mario
have
Kart.
been attempts.
I
Yeah.
don't
Well,
know,
it's like
Crash
Crash
Bandicoot
Racing.
Nitro Kart, that's pretty sweet.
True.
I only know that because I, as a child, chose a PlayStation 1 over an N64.
Ridiculous.
And
Steven.
I don't know if I regret it, but I guess I kind of regret. I regret not having both. I think that's the
There
best
you
way to
go.
put it.
Everybody regrets not having all of this. I mean, if you don't regret that, you're stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
I'm glad
fair.
you're not stupid. I mean, you kind of are for something in the other
You know
one.
what?
So besides Smash Bros. And Mario Kart, what are some of the
Diddy Kong Racing.
Diddy
Yeah,
Kong
Diddy Kong
Racing.
Racing, that's right.
And you got Super Mario 64.
Banjo-Kazooie is one of the best video games ever created.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Hands down.
So much personality.
Amazing soundtrack.
Great multiplayer.
Amazing gameplay. That was Banjo too.
That was two. That was the
Also
second one.
great. Yeah, anyway, but Banjo-Kazooie, crazy game. What a game.
It's a
When,
classic.
when we were kids, Matt and I could never actually beat the final boss.
I never beat the final boss.
Grunty.
And then I finally got played on Xbox 360 and I beat it the first try.
Yeah,
Like, it was like,
Gruntilda.
Gruntilda, yeah. Somehow she's easier on the.
What a weird person.
But her freaking sisters in the second one. Even weirder.
Yeah, it's just what a game. This soundtrack, that always impresses me.
Great
Like,
soundtrack.
as soon as you enter the water, the same song is playing, but it sounds as though you're underwater.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Well, they
Maybe
probably just stuck their speaker underwater.
but it's like different
Oh, yeah.
instruments.
It is.
It's amazing. One of the best soundtracks to a game I know, and one of the most interactive.
Yeah.
Like, is in and responsive to what you're doing.
Well, I mean, for a game where you collect hundreds of little notes,
Yeah.
like golden musical notes, you kind of hope that there's something musical going on.
That's true. Yeah, the notes are really bizarre.
It's pretty random.
Very random.
Well,
Somehow it made sense.
the puzzle pieces too. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, the puzzle pieces kind of made sense because they created like the pictures
Yeah,
for
but
the
why
next
do you have
levels.
pictures and not just like a key for a door or something?
then you
Because
can't
Super
collect-
Mario 64, obviously.
No.
Yeah,
I'm assuming that's where they got the inspiration from.
yeah. I mean, there are very many similarities between the two.
Yeah, the two are actually very similar. They're platformers with like a world menu, pretty much. and then-
Okay, but you're also, we gotta think about Donkey Kong 64 here.
Donkey,
okay.
that is one of the best FPS
I think that was a
games.
revolutionary game for the
That,
64.
the multiplayer
kidding.
for that was fantastic.
Oh, that's a green light.
The
Yeah.
multiplayer was amazing.
But the problem with the single player, in my experience, was that I got partway through and it glitched on me.
Oh,
What is it? The really big gorilla one.
Chunky.
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 No, wait, no, not Chunky. Sorry, Lanky. When I was
Lanky.
Lanky!
When I was rescuing Lanky.
Lanky Manky, Tanky King.
Yeah. One of them is Chunky or Lanky is up in this cage, and you have to like drop the cage and it frees them.
Yeah.
Problem is, I dropped the cage, and their character model stayed up in just in midair. It was just a
That
glitch,
sucks.
and I was like, "Oh, I don't want to have to restart the whole campaign," so I never actually beat the campaign.
You know, that happened to me on, not exactly that same thing, but I was playing Ocarina of Time,
Oh yeah.
and I got to the first boss, and I think I got there twice, and both times they glitched out, and I could never, like, I was in the boss room, and I couldn't ever see the boss. It was completely pitch black.
I remember you were showing me
Yeah,
that.
and I was like, I mean, this sucks, because I wanted to play, and I
Right.
couldn't get past that level, because
It just wouldn't load
No,
the visuals of the.
that, or like, but I couldn't even like hit the boss. Like
Yeah.
at certain times it'd be like you could see a leg or something
Yeah.
random from it, but you wouldn't be able to interact with it, or you couldn't get hurt or anything like that. It was just completely
Yeah.
half rendered.
Kind of brings up the next, probably the most popular game ever, I think, for 64 was Ocarina of Time.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of like story mode and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, guys. That or pod racing. I mean,
Oh boy.
Pod racing.
that was
Suck at pod racing.
awesome.
Such a
love
good
that
game.
So bad at it.
I thought it was so hard as a kid, and then I played it a couple years ago, and then I realized, what?
I actually got really good at that game on PC.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I actually played way more on that game
I wonder
on
if they
PC.
have like an online, like we can race each other kind of thing.
We should look that
We'll
up.
explore that sometime.
Yeah.
Pod racing, man. What a
Someday we'll
Yeah.
explore.
There were just some great games for the N64.
I mean, Ocarina of Time kind of defined Legend of Zelda
Yeah.
as we know it now.
Yeah, because before that it was more like the Pokemon style, like top-down bird's eye view.
Yeah. Well, and then there were those weird 2D semi-platformer ones that people don't really like to think about.
Right. What else was there?
I mean, well, there were the games.
Perfect Dark,
Killer
good
Instinct,
one.
Perfect
Oh,
Dark,
dang.
GoldenEye.
we can't forget GoldenEye.
Go
Yeah.
GoldenEye, classic.
And,
Personally, I think Perfect Dark's multiplayer is better than GoldenEye's. A lot of people
Yeah.
disagree with me on that.
Well, I just like the campaign too.
The one
I mean,
part-
do two. No, you can't on GoldenEye, right? There's no two-player.
Yeah,
campaign.
there is a two-player.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, GoldenEye.
Well, what do I know?
What
I'm
was that
I'm
other
stupid.
Star Wars game?
Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah, were you playing as Dash or something? Like
Yeah,
the fake,
yeah.
the fake Han Solo?
Yeah.
That was a classic.
What
That
a
was
game.
So good.
I love
that
that
was
game.
that was at Extra Life Game Shop in town for $15.
You should have
And
bought
I
it.
almost bought it.
You should have
And
bought
then I
it.
went back just a couple days ago and it was already sold. I was like, oh, I should have bought it.
My goodness.
$15.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
And you could like there was like cheat codes where you could play as a Wampa or like a Stormtrooper.
Oh yeah,
And that was
yeah.
hilarious.
Right.
I mean, back when I was like in first grade. Cheat codes
Yeah.
were the thing.
What, Cheat Code Central?
Shout out to Cheat Code Central.
We're here.
CCC.
Yeah. So what did you guys think of the Nintendo 64 controller?
Trash.
Well, I
Explain yourself.
3 prongs for 2 hands. Who thought of that?
well,
It's
that
my
is true.
ultimate co-op experience.
I feel like I only ever did get 2/3 of the handling experience.
That's what she said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is probably maybe.
Two.
I don't know.
You can only get 2 hands up to the 3 prongs.
Yeah.
And it did not come with a. It didn't come with a Rumble pack.
Rumble pack.
That was an expansion. That sucked.
Remember back in the day when controllers didn't
Oh,
have
I'm in the wrong
Rumble built
lane.
into them and you had to buy the pack?
The little red thing you shut on the back. And
Yeah, well, it was a really big, like,
Yeah,
pumpkin
Longton one.
thing. Yeah.
Oh, I guess
it's
it's
basically a
Then
shake,
there was like the extra memory.
shake weight.
That you had the little red chip you put in the console.
And if we're talking about expansion pieces, we have to mention the Donkey Kong one because it was the only game
Yeah.
that required this stupid piece.
Yeah.
and they were freaking rare for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rare.
Yeah. So
My
that
favorite
was annoying.
thing about that game, though, Donkey Kong, was the multiplayer, all those secret walls and stuff.
Oh, yeah. That was
And then doing the dang cartwheels with Diddy Kong.
Yep.
Cartwheels
The
are
cartwheels.
the best.
That was such an interesting game because it was a mix of like melee and like actual shooting
And grenades or bombs.
and grenades.
Yeah.
But you know, if you could get by with just doing melee. Like it wasn't like nowadays FPS games are just
Just shooting.
shooting, and if you
Because the
suck at
shooting
shooting,
was super slow.
yeah.
And the bullets traveled really slowly.
But it was so fun, just like
Oh yeah.
pumping out coconuts. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Diddy Kong was pretty fast. The PS.
Yeah, Diddy Kong and Tiny Kong had faster ones.
Tiny Kong had with the grapes.
Yeah.
Tiny Kong with the feather
crossbow,
that I
yeah.
never figured out.
Oh, and Chunky had pineapples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was always Lanky Kong with his like
Grapes?
glow
Yeah.
dart.
Oh, no, he had the grapes.
Yeah, he had the grapes.
He the grapes. Who else was that it? There was Chunky, Donkey, Diddy, Tiny, Lanky.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then you could use the different colors. Purple Lanky was where it was at.
Yeah, I forget which color I was. I think I was just like red.
You get these weird stretching movies.
Yeah. But like the thing that I always think is significant about the Nintendo 64 controller is how much it limited what all the first-person shooter games could do.
Yeah.
Because it was so hard to move and aim, like we consider
Yeah.
natural now with the dual joystick. I mean, that being said, the Nintendo the Nintendo 64 controller at least had a joystick, which for the time was
revolutionary.
cool and new.
Because PlayStation 1 did not. So I believe.
Because you
not have
can't,
joystick.
you couldn't
Well,
do like
not
any
initially.
first-person
There were
shooters on
PS1 controllers with the DualShock.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
They came out, but it started out with just the D-pad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then PS2 was the first with dual joystick, right?
I think so, yeah. But like,
Unless GameCube.
Well,
GameCube-
like PS1 again would have had it, but that was only at the tail end, right in that transitionary period between.
Right.
I would know
Right.
because I'm a Sony guy.
Traitor.
I know what you mean. It's sort of like missing a component in some of those.
Because like
FPS
it's,
games
you
with
think it's
PS1.
GoldenEye, where Oddjob is so short that you shoot and it literally goes over Oddjob's head. So of course Oddjob is just OP in that game because everyone else has to stop and aim down to hit
And
him.
you can just shoot their balls.
Yeah.
Over
Oh,
and
yeah.
over and over again. You know what else I love? Pokemon Stadium.
You know, that is one game I never played, but it was always
Because the battles were sweet, the mini games were sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, and Mario Party. If we're talking mini
Okay,
games.
Mario Party too.
Right.
one of the best friend
Basically
destroyers
anything with mini.
ever.
That's, I think, for me, Connor, the biggest part that I again may not be for you guys.
Stadium, eh?
Anything with not Pokemon Stadium,
Oh.
just the concept of mini games in general.
Yeah.
And playing with friends, the
Yeah.
four-player capabilities. That to me is what made the N64 so great.
That's one thing I always found failing in the other consoles at that time, like the PS1, with just the two-person, like multiplayer.
You go with two people.
It was just
You could buy a
always lacked.
multi-tap and make it 4.
Yeah, but I mean, who actually did that?
I
knew
did.
one I now I
But yeah, I know what you mean. It's kind of
yeah.
Nintendo's always had that focus more of being
you know, the family
friendly,
yeah,
Social
like,
console.
social console. Yeah, exactly.
Totes.
Man, what other games did I play on the N64?
The snowboarding SSX game.
SSX.
Oh,
No,
SSX
snowboarding 1080.
1080.
Tricky was on GameCube.
Yeah,
That's
Tricky was on
right.
GameCube. That's right. 1080 was on.
That's right. 1080 was actually pretty dope.
That was.
Oh, and I want
I
to play
remember,
ball.
I remember doing like the trick mode where you basically just go down the
Oh,
massive
you just
ramp.
just get
And like
sick
somehow
here.
I managed to figure out how to just do like infinite tricks.
Yeah.
It was at your house.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yeah.
Tony, the first one.
The first
When,
one.
where
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you could play the mall level.
Yeah.
And like at the very start you broke out of the glass.
Yeah.
No, or the one where you go downhill, or those are called garage, or
Yeah.
basement, or
Yeah.
One of them.
that was
But
so
my
much
favorite
fun.
was the mall. Playing as Bob Burnquist.
Bob Burnquist. I was more of a Rodney Mullen kind of guy.
Rodney
The dark
Mullen.
slide.
Okay.
That was my move.
I do not remember.
I always tried to do Christ Air, but never managed to do it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know, there was a lot of things I tried to do in that game.
I just did snailfish.
Snailfish.
Even by accident. That was the only move. That, yeah.
I remember when I like first figured out how to do like manuals,
Oh.
and they were just ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
You're just like, how can anybody do this?
Yeah.
And there were all those different games you could play against people like graffiti
Right.
Oh yeah, it was like skate.
and trick attack.
Oh, and then there was skate, classic skate.
Was that on N64?
I think so.
Like the free skate mode.
No, like where you like have to like,
Oh, as in like horse but skate.
you had to like match their points.
Yeah.
I don't know if was it graffiti on the first one.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, graffiti may have been number 2 or 3.
I'm not sure if it was on the first one.
Yeah.
The first one I ever owned on PS1 was Tony Hawk 4. So I mean, I played 1 and 2 a lot and at friends' houses and stuff. But yeah.
We also can't forget Star Fox.
Oh no.
I actually have never played Star Fox.
I was terrible.
Star
at it.
Fox was so much fun.
It was.
It
really
was
good.
it was a lot of. It was kind of one of the first games that kind of foreran the whole 3D
Right.
flying kind of thing.
Well, the multiplayer dogfighting in that game was a lot of
It was
fun.
difficult half.
Yeah, no kidding. It was so hard. Do a barrel roll.
Yeah.
Do barrels!
Like Fox, they're on my tail.
Classic line now.
Which was the frog?
Flippy.
Flippy? And Flippy.
Slippy.
Or Slip. Yeah, and
so
both.
Slippery or bad.
I hate them both.
Slippery
Slippery.
I was a big fan. Wasn't there a female?
No, you're thinking of the GameCube
Yeah.
Star Fox Adventures or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Assault.
That had Crystal, the
Yeah.
Blue Fox, with like the magic staff.
That's right.
I just remember always wanting to be Falco, but you can't
You're like a spy.
be Falco.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You're just Fox, and Fox
Right.
is cool,
But no, Falco is. Yeah.
But I was always
Get it.
encouraged by his companionship. You know, it's like, oh yeah,
Falco-
I got Falco.
Falco's
I mean,
a
I might
good
got
fan.
Slippy Flippy over here, who just is
But he's a slippery
annoying
bastard.
ass.
And Peppy.
And, yeah,
and Pepe.
Peppy was my man.
Peppy
My
hair.
main man, Peppy. Yeah.
Pepe. He was the rarest Pepe.
What? Pepe?
The rarest Pepe.
He was the rarest Pepe.
Or
Did you guys ever play like
Slippy, that boy.
Okay.
Bomberman?
It was super weird because
64 I didn't like a lot.
we couldn't figure out because we had Bomberman
I
for the game.
love
That was the
that.
best.
Okay.
And there you could get those pet creature things and like
Are you talking about the Game Boy game?
and you could like capture them and then when you
Pokemon.
when you encounter them in the N64 game you like fought them and then that was it. Like I don't know, I was always confused what was going on in that game and then we got stuck.
It's because the N64 game it was Bomberman.
Yeah.
And the Game Boy game we had it was Bomberman something, and we weren't playing as Bomberman. You played as the guy in the black suit. He was like the bad guy. So it wasn't you weren't playing as Bomberman. You were playing as the bad guy. Another N64 game. It's not very popular when me and Nick had it. It was like a ninja game.
Oh my goodness!
I played it on
Mystical Ninja
Goemon?
Mystical Ninja Goemon or something like
Yeah.
that. And you played.
Oh man.
Okay, that was the weirdest game ever. tour.
Weird.
Because it's
set in like Japan.
it's set in Japan,
Oh,
but
that's
it's
weird.
and you like there are
It was Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, I think.
Mystical Ninja starring Goemon. There are 4 different characters. Oh wow! Oh, that game is bringing back so many of the weirdest memories of my childhood.
Is it a 4-player game?
this with you.
And
Oh,
you
I
just
never
kind
played
of collect a few different weapons each of your characters have, and eventually each of your characters will learn a different special ability. You only ever play as one of them at a time, and you're like fighting giant evil samurai robot,
There's some weird enemies.
and then you're like sailing on this giant dragon through the air.
Oh, the dragon.
And then, you're just collecting tons of like little gold coin things called
Goemons?
Ryu.
Ryu.
And then you could like throw them as weapons or use them as money to like
Shurikens or Street
to
Fighter?
like buy food to eat
Yeah.
to heal yourself. Well, I remember we got stuck in the 64, like when we had our 64, and we just didn't know how to advance in the game at one point. Because it was like, I mean, games back then were a little more obscure, and a lot of the time they didn't really tell you always what to do.
Yeah, it's kind of like, here you go, have fun.
Yeah. Oh man, that game was a ton of fun, and also the most confusing, weird game I'd ever played
Yeah.
at that time.
Yeah.
It was great.
Those games are good.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that like nobody knows, but you just had a blast playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you find like that one person who's like, oh my goodness, you know that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever found another person who knows that game.
Yeah, it's super obscure.
I'm trying to think of any other games that I played on the N64.
I mean, like Connor mentioned, Mario Tennis.
Mario Tennis.
Is on
And
the
Mario
64.
Golf.
Mario Golf.
Mario Golf.
Yeah. Rogue Squadron.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, you ever play like the Wave Rider?
Oh yeah. It's really.
And
it's
there's
like
also
super boring.
USA Surfing or
USA Surfing.
No,
I think that was the Wave Rider one.
maybe it was the same one. Yeah.
And it was just like really boring.
Yeah, kind
I just remember like everybody had it and nobody played it.
Do you guys ever play Quest 64?
of. I never did.
Oh, I've definitely seen the game.
I played that one. That was the only time. Okay, so once upon a time, before I got my PlayStation 1, I borrowed my friend's N64, and my mom, she and I went to Blockbuster.
Oh.
We went to the Blockbuster, and she said, hey, Connor, you can rent 2 games
Wow.
if you want. 2 games.
Nice.
Because I'd already been borrowing Mario Kart from his friend, so I
Right.
didn't need that one.
Yeah.
So I rented, like, I don't even remember. It was like NBA 97
NBA.
and Quest 64. And I-
Okay.
I think
Wayne Gretzky's hockey. We had so much fun with that game. We used to host tournaments at our house.
Oh, we would host tournaments with
I think I remember
with
those.
like cash prizes. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh,
I remember that. I sucked at it.
Sorry to steal that thunder.
No,
but
no,
that
no.
game.
I love
oh, just
sports games are my
remember that.
jam. But Space Jam.
Dude,
There was that
NBA
one-
Jam.
NBA
One play you can do
Jam.
every single time against the computer. You just go in, pass it to your teammate, pass it back, shoot, always go. I think
Yeah.
at games
The
I was
AI
like
was
20-0.
Do you remember like the crowds in those old games
Yeah.
where it was just like either it was just a background painted with like every now and then like a flash,
Yeah.
like not representing.
Or
like,
you'd have like 2 or 3 2D cutouts that would be multiplied by
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Okay, but so I'm curious, what is Quest 64? 'Cause I
Yeah.
don't
You
know
play
what this
as
is.
this.
like a knight kind of.
Well, he's more of the magey type. Picture like Last Airbender, but not a Shaolin monk. Like he's just a little dude with a robe and a staff, but he can use the power of the elements, kind of deal.
Okay.
I only played it for like 3 hours, 4 hours collectively, so I beat like the first mission.
Yeah.
It's very much Pokemon-esque in the sense that, like, it's 3D.
Okay.
You follow your dude around, but anytime you encounter something like a villain or whatever,
Right.
you have to fight it.
Oh, okay.
And you have
yeah.
to, whatever. So it has sort of that
Kind of JRPG.
kind of, it's yeah, so you can upgrade your dude in different areas and stuff.
Interesting.
There were some elements of it I really liked. I mean, certainly the whole, if you're trying to get from point A to point B and you always keep bumping into these villains, as soon as you
Yeah.
get into the radius, you have to fight them. Like, you have no
yeah,
choice.
Random encounters.
I hated that so much
Uh-huh.
because it's just like I wanted to get to the other village or the other castle or whatever.
Right.
It would be one of those games that if I had more time and if I cared more for it, I'd try and beat it.
Mm-hmm.
But
one game that I played
Just only so many games I can play.
for a very brief amount of time. I think I was borrowing someone's N64 at one point.
Yeah.
And I played the Toy Story game.
Oh yeah.
And it was
That
like
was a fun one.
surprisingly good.
Yeah.
I played that on Project 64.
And it was fun.
Yeah. That's right.
It was like genuinely fun, which was weird. Because generally, like back in those days, well, I mean, not back in those days, all movie-based video games, except the
Aladdin.
Lord of the Rings ones.
Okay, those are good.
The Lord of the Rings ones are awesome.
Those are sweet.
No, and Aladdin for the, what is it, the SNES or the SN or the
That's
NES?
a thing.
Oh yeah, that one was really
And
good.
Lion King
Oh,
and
and E.T.
E.T.
No!
No.
We will not speak of that.
You just tainted this video.
That'll be deleted. It's just like beep.
Yeah. Also, I played a PC Emperor's New Groove game, which was awesome. That's the only other one I can think of. I guess I'll just start. Okay. I lied. There are some very good video-based or like film-based video games.
Yeah.
Star Wars. All those games.
Yeah.
But
Anything by Lego?
Yeah.
anything
Well, I
about
think
Lego,
Lego,
yeah.
of course. Yeah.
But back at this point, there weren't a
Yeah.
whole lot, and
Right.
that one was actually surprisingly
That
good.
was a good one.
It had nothing to do with the movie besides the fact that you were in like their universe
Right.
and you were playing as their characters. Like the story mode had nothing to do with Andy and anything
It's
else.
sort of its own thing with
Yeah.
Zorg, usually. Or
Probably Zurg.
Zurg. Actually, you know what I just thought of? Because in that movie, there's Army Men in Toy Story.
Right.
And the Army Men
The
games
Army Men
for the
games.
N64.
Oh yes.
Those were sweet.
Yes.
Using the flamethrower and just melting the
Just
suckers.
melt that plastic,
Whoa.
right?
So satisfying.
Like I never beat any of them or anything, but they just had such a variety. Like they had, or you follow Sarge and go on those kind of adventures, and they had like Army Men Air Attack, and they had all these different.
I remember playing that once when I was like really little,
Yeah.
and my dad like saw me playing that game and kind of freaked out because he was like, "You're playing a shooter game," and I'm like, "But Dad, it's toys." It's okay, and he's like, "Turn it off." And I'm like, "But okay."
Yeah.
And it was really sad because I was having a lot of fun
I hear ya.
melting those dudes with the flamethrower. What a good time.
That's probably why he didn't let you keep playing. Because you're probably like, Dad, I'm melting all these dudes! I'm melting them all! And then,
And I was like going to
if you would have
school.
said toys or something, but
Yeah.
you gotta
I'm
have
using fake flames to melt plastic. It's okay, Dad.
Yeah.
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 No.
Well, that's how we were allowed to play Pokemon, because you weren't actually killing them, you were fainting.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the only reason we were allowed Pokemon when we were younger.
Crazy.
Yeah, but everybody's still like, I killed him. I mean,
Yeah.
I fainted him, Mom. I killed him.
Well, instead of a Smash Bros, you knock them off. You KO
yeah.
someone.
They're not dead because
Yeah.
you can play with them the next round.
You knock them out.
They're not
with a-
dead.
Yeah, no, totally.
That game though, so many nights playing
Yeah.
Super Smash Bros. I remember the first time I figured out that Samus was a girl,
Oh, yeah.
and I was just like blown away. Because at this point, like when I was playing Super Smash Bros, I was too young to really like gotten into Metroid when I was
Right.
on the previous systems.
Was it Metroid on 64?
No, it was on
No.
it was on the like SNES and
Alright, I don't
think
ever
the
play
NES.
the GameCube one.
It was on the GameCube then, yeah.
Yeah, and so like, but at this point, my only interaction with Samus was in Super Smash Bros.
Yeah.
And I remember like me and my friend, we figured out that like when you zapped her with Pikachu or something, you could
Yeah.
like see a female figure,
It's like,
and we're like, what the fuck? What is going on here?
yeah,
It's a girl.
Yeah.
And then like everything I knew was shattered.
definitely thought it was a robot.
Yeah, definitely that, or at least a dude in a
Yeah.
robot suit.
Mhm.
You know. But when I found out it was a girl, I was just like, well, I don't know what to think anymore.
Yeah.
Plot twist.
Where are we
Yeah.
going?
I thought we were going to 7.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
go.
we're getting Slurpees.
Here at Crayon Gods, we love our Slurpees.
So much.
So much.
And
All
flavors.
beverages of goodness. goodness.
Okay, but we should go to Extra Life and get Slurpees. Then we can
Is
just
it
do
open
that.
still?
Yeah, it's open till 9.
Okay,
Let's
go
do it.
go
Even
on
on
Saturday
Saturdays?
games.
They would
think they'll
be what you're
shout out.
calling the nectar of the gods.
The nectar
Nick, are they open Saturdays?
I'm like 90%.
Yeah,
No, they're open on Saturdays. I just don't know how late they're open on Saturdays.
Let's at least go check and,
Yeah.
and see.
So I'm looking
They serve Slurpees there?
Yeah,
they do.
Nice.
yeah, $2.
$2.
Man, first choice is only $1.61.
Okay,
Yeah, but first
there.
choice
You know what,
is
Steve
Yeah, but
Smith,
I would
get it.
rather pay $2 and support Extra Life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
You know,
It's
Shout out to
true.
Retro Game
because
Shop.
I love Extra Life.
Closes in 35 minutes. We're good.
All right, we can.
I
make
don't know. This
It's
construction
only
here
like
is
3 blocks away. I don't know, guys.
construction here is pretty.
And with Matt's driving, I don't know if we'll make it.
Anyways, any closing thoughts on the Nintendo 64?
That's just it. We may not know how much time we'll have at Extra Life games, but we do know is that the N64
is awesome.
is awesome.
And it'll be around forever because I'm gonna keep playing mine.
Here
all
is
the
to
time.
another 20 years
Yes,
of good
please.
gameplay.
The memories, both
many
past, present, and future.
Frustrating moments in Smash.
Oh,
And the memories that didn't come with the game console.
What? What?
Like the memory cards that.
yeah, yeah, that happened.
Wow.
That just did. Oh yeah.
Okay.
But
Fun City.
yeah, that was a great system. Happy birthday, Nintendo 64.
Happy birthday, candles all around.
Quick
for me.
question.
Belated birthday.
Before we close, what does the 64 stand for?
I have no idea.
64 bits.
Oh!
64-bit. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
knew that.
Up until that point, they'd only
Steve
been
Smith
16
here,
and
found it.
32. Yeah. Boom.
Steve Smith.
All right. Well, if you guys have any favorite memories of the N64, be sure to let us know in the comments. We always love to chat about our favorite consoles.
Oh yeah. We like to chat in general.
About anything.
You know, message us on Facebook or something, and I'm sure one of us will be like, oh, "Hey, bro," or not, bro.
Yeah, whatever.
What? Yeah.
Or do that.
Bro in the generic sense.
Yeah. You know, like the cool story, bro.
We live in a
bro.
very inclusive, diverse world these days. So,
Indeed.
You know, power to you. But yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is
Keep it real. Keep it classy.
Yeah.
Keep your stick on the ice.
Ciao.
adios.
Yeah.
See ya.